दोस्तों इस क्लास में आपको डिक्टेशन दूंगा मैं 100 WPM पर एसएससी और DSSSB के लिए जो स्पेशल मैटर मैंने तैयार किए हैं उसकी आपको डिक्टेशन प्रोवाइड कर रहा हूं 100 WPM पर। बी रेडी फॉर इट। Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, sir. I am extremely thankful to you for allowing me to initiate the discussion on the Ukraine crisis under Rule 193 of Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business in Lok Sabha. Sir, for last more than 2 years, the world is grappling with a scourge of unimaginable magnitude, the COVID-19 pandemic. This once-in-a-century global pandemic has devastated lives, livelihoods, economies, health, social security, education and almost all conceivable human endeavors. While the pandemic still shows no signs of abating, the world is faced with another catastrophe of almost equal magnitude. Sir, the simmering discontent on various issues between Ukraine and Russia Federation erupted into a war when the Russian Federation declared a special military operation in Ukraine. The Honorable External Affairs Minister had placed a statement before the Lok Sabha. It was a lengthy statement of the Honorable Minister. I fully welcome and appreciate the statement on behalf of Government of India placed before this House. The lengthy statement was having paragraphs pertained to the Operation Ganga carried out by the Government of India for bringing back stranded Indian citizens and the students from Ukraine. After 40 days of declaration of a military operation in Ukraine, things have unraveled to a reasonable degree of catastrophic dimensions of the conflagration. So, the discussion under Rule 193 at this juncture is highly inevitable and highly required to have a prompt response from the Government of India relating to the current geopolitical impact of the war. So, it is the right time when we are discussing about the Ukraine crisis so that the House will be getting an immediate and prompt response from the Government of India. What is the current geopolitical impact and what is the stand of India in respect of the Ukraine crisis? So, once again, I take this opportunity to congratulate and express my sincere thanks to Honorable Speaker for admitting this discussion under Rule 193 and giving me an opportunity to initiate the discussion. Sir, before entering into the basic issue of Ukraine crisis, I would like to say a few words about the Operation Ganga carried out by the Government of India under the leadership of Ministry of External Affairs. I fully associate with the Foreign Minister's statement in commending the effort of the Government of India, the officials of the Ministry of External Affairs, particularly the concerned embassies, the Ministry of Civil Aviation, the Ministry of Defence, the Indian Air Force, private airlines and all those who worked tirelessly and selflessly for the safe return of Indian nationals from Ukraine. Sir, I do admit the fact that the government did a good job in bringing more than 20,000 people back to India. I would like to place it on record that it is a good thing that the government has done. At the time when I am putting my appreciation On record, I would like to make some critical observations regarding the Operation Ganga carried out by the Government of India. The first critical observation is that the evacuation program would have been better if early cautious steps were taken to commence the operation as other countries did. For example, the first advisory of the Ministry of External Affairs issued lacked clarity and direction. The first advisory of the Ministry of External Affairs and the Embassy in Ukraine regarding the crisis was lacking clarity and direction. The Honorable Minister has mentioned about the hardships in the statement given in the House. The detailed explanation is there. The hardships that Government of India had faced in evacuating or bringing back the stranded people of India from Ukraine are absolutely correct, and I do accept the fact. It could have been avoided. Miseries could have been avoided or averted if we had acted as other countries had done. This is the first strategic flaw which I would like to point out. The feedback from the students and majority of the evacuees is that the government came into the scene only after they had crossed the borders. Within Ukraine, they were mostly at the mercy of the persons called contractors in their language. So, when we take pride and credit in the evacuation of more than 20,000 people back to India, we have to introspect ourselves whether we have acted promptly in it. That has to be introspected by ourselves, for which a critical analysis is required. That is the second drawback or second strategic flaw on our part in the evacuation process. As the students have come back to India, now the government's priority should be how to recoup the loss of thousands of the students. I would like to request the Honorable Health Minister to resolve the matter of students as soon as possible in the interest of these young citizens, because they are in a big trouble. The issue of the students who have already returned from Ukraine, most of them are medical graduate students, has to be dealt with and it has to be resolved. I think that the Government of India should take the initiative in resolving their issue with the National Medical Commission. The Ministry of Health and Family Welfare has to take the initiative. The next point is regarding Operation Ganga carried out by the Government of India. A critical analysis is definitely required. At the time when we appreciate the earnest efforts taken by the Government of India, critical evaluation of the program is highly essential so as to have a lesson in the future programs. So, such an evaluation should come, and I hope that it would come from the Honorable Minister of External Affairs. Now, the second point which I would like to make under the discussion under Rule 193 is about the diplomatic stand of India in the current crisis. I know very well that it is a tricky position. I am sure that India enjoys that stature and goodwill with all concerned. With these words, I conclude. Stop. दोस्तों इसी के साथ ही डिक्टेशन फिनिश होती है और मुझे पूरी उम्मीद है आप लोगों ने इसे बहुत अच्छे से ही लिखा होगा। मेहनत कंटिन्यू करते रहिए। आपसे मुलाकात करता हूं अगली क्लास में अगली ट्रांसक्रिप्शन के साथ। तब तक के लिए बाय बाय, टेक केयर।